little bit of basketball talk is really the NBA is its own worst enemy at this point. And it dates back, and we might be a little late on it. We're not really talking about Bam Adebayo's performance per se, but we're talking about like how in the NFL, for example, if somebody has a massive day on the football field, if Sean Tucker scores 3 touchdowns, it's the coolest thing of all time. And
if Khalif Raymond goes for 15 receptions and 230 yards,
people are fired up and it's awesome. And like, it's just like, it's good vibes. And like in the NBA, Bam Adebayo drops 83 points, which was like appointment television. I haven't tuned into an NBA game in forever. And it was like, I'm putting this on because this is crazy. And watching it all unfold, it was like, holy, this is actually insane that I'm watching somebody put up 83 points in an NBA game. And it got met with nothing but disrespect and hate from players, from fans, from everybody. Yeah. And it was just like, this is what is, there's a lot of things that are killing the NBA, but like there's something cool that's finally happening in the NBA. And you could look across the league. I think that, and I want to say this in a little bit, I think the playoffs are shaping up to be pretty interesting, but on a night to night basis across the across the NBA, the games are really bad. Aside from like a few, like they're blowouts or they're not close, but the way that the postseason is shaping up, it's like those matchups are going to be really fun to watch. And I think that's like looking up for the NBA at this point. But on a down night, which is most nights in the NBA, when you finally have something rolling and something cool's happening, and everybody just immediately stamps and is like, this isn't cool. Fuck Bam Adebayo. Fuck the Heat and fuck this performance. It was terrible. Why can't the NBA get out of their own way at multiple levels? And why do the fans feel like they need to gatekeep performances?
I think there's 2 massive reasons behind why this got absolutely flamed. I don't think it even has anything to do with it being Bam Adebayo. I think it has everything to do with the fact that it could have been like, okay, if this was a say like anywhere from like 1 to like the top 10, 12 best player in the NBA, I think that the reaction to this would have been night and day. I think because it was like, it could have been anybody around the same caliber of player as Bam Adebayo, and I think that they would have gotten shit on. I think the majority of the reason behind that is because they eclipsed Kobe Bryant in the points, in the most points per game. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that a player of like above average caliber did it, and the way that it ended up happening. Watching the game, it was all, and this is the NBA's fault too. It was all just like, for starters, they kept him in and they were up by like 20 points, 30 points. And it was basically just the Heat playing no defense, which isn't necessarily different to any other night in the NBA, but really no defense on this night. And then them just foul baiting the entire time to try and get him to 83 points. So I think if it would have happened in a better manner, where it was like a close game and it was like KD or like Curry or Luka or Wemby or like somebody upper echelon of the NBA, I think it would have been met with significantly more grace.
But we, like, for example, this is the direct example that I keep thinking of. We watch, like, on like 4th down 2 seasons ago, Baker Mayfield like throw a risky ball to Mike Evans so he could get 1,003 yards to like extend his 1,000-yard streak. And then everybody's like, this is why Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. Like, this is like, we have direct examples of everybody in all sports when there's an opportunity to go and get something or a record or anything like that, like you go for it. So like, I don't know why everybody is like, why is it so shame? Like it's an NBA, it's only an NBA thing. And I think yes, it might have been a Kobe thing as well. But I think that like I think that people would have done that with just because it's the NBA and people love to just anything that cool that ever happens in the NBA, it's time to hate on it.
See, I don't know if I agree. I think that if it would have been one of these like upper echelon players, that it would have been met a lot differently. Um, I think it was a lot, like I said, because of Kobe Bryant too. I think if it wasn't if it wasn't Bam eclipsing Kobe Bryant, I think that people would have. If it was like them, if it was fucking Bam Adebayo eclipsing uh Bill Laimbeer for most points in a game, people would have been in the streets celebrating.
Yeah, literally.
Like if it wasn't Kobe Bryant, it couldn't be Kobe Bryant being eclipsed by Bam Adebayo. If it was Steph or D Book or Luca or somebody, like, you get my point. If it was one of those guys, there would have still been some backlash just because the Kobe Bryant stands of the world are like insufferable at times, which I get it. That's how LeBron and that's how MJ fans get too. But if they weren't, there's always going to be like that small group of insufferable people that are like, oh, well, he wasn't better than Kobe. He just scored more points. This isn't cool. Anybody could do this in today's NBA, which with the way that it was going, I think a lot of people could have put up 83, but like we haven't seen it. So
we haven't seen it. That's a bad argument, I feel like.
I don't think I agree. I
don't think a lot of people. I think that if people could go and score 80 points, they would do it. Like the games don't matter. The games don't matter for 80% of the season. So you're telling me that like nobody's like going to go ahead and try to drop 80? Like I don't. I guess. And it all happened like right away. Like one, I guess. Why not be just as mad at the Magic for allowing that to even happen? Like
it was
dude,
it was the Wizards, dude. Chill.
The Wizards. Sorry, excuse me. But like they're it's the same shit. Magic and Wizards are the same. So like why aren't people mad at like you should have triple teamed him to make sure that he didn't get 80 or something like that.
100%.
Or 60. Like why did it take like the whole game for them to like double down on this and be like, nah, screw this. Like, we're not allowing this to happen. Like, there's no pride in the NBA, like, at all.
Dude, if I'm Alex Sarr, I'm diving at Bam Adebayo's legs when he goes up for a layup.
100%. 150%. The one thing that I do want to say is, like, I think that I do really feel like the NBA playoff matchups that we're going to get this offseason or this postseason are going to be like interesting to watch. One, I love the Celtics. I think the Celtics are in a good spot. Obviously we have Wemby and the Spurs. We have SGA and the Thunder, but like the Pistons are interesting, even though they don't have like probably enough to get them over the hump. Like there are multiple teams that are interesting. The Hornets are like super interesting and fun to watch. Like, there's so many like decent teams, and I'm excited to watch it go into a 7-game series and see what happens. And I think that like this is going to be the first time in a while that I actually watch the NBA postseason.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be very fun. I'm looking at the standings right now. And realistically, like we could, I don't know how many games are left.
Bro, what if we even get Paul George and Joel Embiid back for the Sixers before like when the playoffs start? Like there's just so many crazy teams and things that could happen to just make things very interesting. The Knicks are playing really well. Like it's just there's a lot of good. The top there's obviously a tier level probably. The top is really really good. But like the little tier below them, I feel like there's a bunch of teams that can make some noise.
But see, I also think that like I'm looking at it right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're sitting there at 6th in the West at 42-27, and they've played in Western Conference Finals last year and maybe the year before. I think Ant's been to 2 of them. There's a scenario where they could make it to another Western Conference Final. I don't think that the Timberwolves, Nuggets, Rockets, and Lakers are, and clearly that's based off of the standings too. Like they're not really that far apart in talent. Like any of those teams can beat any of those teams, I think, in a 7-game series. and that's probably why they're all so close here in the standings. Like the Lakers sit in third at 10.5 back. Now, do I think they could beat the Spurs? Maybe. Do I think they can beat the Thunder? No. But
Yeah.
could they win a series against the Rockets, Nuggets, or Timberwolves? If they're playing how they have been playing these last like 2 weeks, then yeah, I think they can. But are they going to be somebody that wins the NBA championship? I don't think so. But it still should make for a really fun playoffs. And then in the Eastern Conference, the Pistons have been the best team all season, but the Celtics got Tatum back, and they've been playing at such a high level all year without him that once he starts
I
to get
love the
integrated,
Celtics.
yeah, and get more comfortable there, coming off of his surgery, like that's not a guarantee for the Pistons to walk into the finals either. Like the Knicks are right behind him. The Cavaliers have been playing really well this year too. I can't say that I know how well they've been playing since the James Harden addition, but that should make them better for the playoffs with his addition. At least give them another ball handler, potential scoring option. And then you brought up the Hornets. Like they're not a team that's going to win the Eastern Conference, but they've been one of the hottest teams in the NBA the last like month and a half, 2
They're
months.
tough. Yeah, they're tough.
They're sick. They're sick as hell. So like getting LaMelo Ball in the playoffs is going to be, and Con Kneppel is going to be must see TV. They could give a team a run for their money.
I'm excited. I did bet them to win the NBA championship, but I don't know. What first things first is like I don't know why. I just think I know that people don't agree with this at all. I think the Celtics are like the coolest team of all time. Why do people hate the Celtics so much?
Because they've been so good for majority of their NBA history. They're one of the best franchises in sports.
So people are just pissed off of how good they are.
Yeah, and because they had one of their best players hurt for 3/4 of the season and were still one of the best teams in the NBA.
Jaylen Brown was just putting the team on his back.
He has been playing incredible this entire season. And a lot of it goes back to coaching because I do think Joe Mazzulla is a phenomenal coach. Also a psychopath.
Love that guy too.
But the guys that have been like filling in as role players, it feels like they're just like spawning them in the locker room or on the side of the road before the games start, and they're just coming out and putting up like numbers. Like until this season, I had no clue who Neemias Queta was, and he's averaging 10.
I knew Luka Garza.
Luka Garza because he was good at Iowa, but like
Neemias
Queta is sitting here at 10-8, and nobody even knew, unless you were a Celtics fan, who he was majority of the year.
Didn't the Kings just waive him or whatever, or get rid of him?
Probably. They're a terrible organization too. So like, and maybe like I said, I think a lot of it is coaching too. But like when you've got guys like Neemias Queta, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but they've got him, and there was another guy that was coming off the bench that's like just drilling threes, and it's like, where are these guys coming from? Where are they like
Brad Stevens?
He's really good.
These are my two scenarios from the West and the East that I want to see happen. Anthony Edwards goes to the championship, wins MVP, becomes like a larger than life star. Other side of it, the Boston Celtics go to the NBA championship, win, but Jason Tatum wins finals MVP instead of Jaylen Brown this time and completes the comeback story. Those are my two scenarios that I want to win. Or Con Kneppel finals MVP.
They might be a few years away, but that would be sick. I'm right there with you with the Ant one. I love Ant. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA, and he's so fun to watch. I think that he is like a guy that I mean, I don't get me wrong, I like LeBron, but I don't really know how much of it, like how much of a chance the Lakers really have. I don't know how much of a chance Minnesota really has, but Ant is just like, he's got that dog in him, and he just like makes like, he has like that almost like old school feel to him, as far as like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna just try to demolish you, is how it feels like. Yeah, like how it feels like when he goes out there and plays on a nightly basis. So like, I'm right there with you with that one. And then on the Eastern Conference, like, I want the Knicks to make it and win, because it gets lit when the Knicks are good. So
Madison Square Garden would get burnt down if that happened.
Yeah, 100%.
That would be cool.
Sidewalk Talk would be going stupid if they won the chip.
I just spit it. Good girl, we're getting paper as a passion. Collect the stacks and bring it back, man, and take